Welcome to the Get Real Podcast, your high-octane boost of in the trenches, tell it like it is reality therapy for personal, business, and real estate investing success. With your hosts, powerpreneurs, Angela Thomas and Ron Phillips. It's time to get real.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is another episode of the Get Real Podcast. I'm Angela Thomas, and I'm here with Ron Phillips.
Yes,
hey, Ron.
We are here.
We are here.
Back.
Ron's still waiting for the hurricane. So that's
I haven't died yet.
Hasn't died yet. Ron is still here. Woo! And I today am happy to be living in Draper, Utah. So, yeah, which is weird because usually I'm jealous. But yeah, today we are going to, repeat ourselves a little bit. We love talking about how to set goals and reaching your dreams. And we've talked about it a lot. But today we just want to dive into some of the hangups people might have and talk about how to get past them and find real success. Because we keep talking about this, but we still see on our news feeds everybody complaining about their lives. So.
And I know that we're probably preaching to the choir. I sure hope we are. I hope you take a little, fragment of what we talk about today and you can implement it and it will help you change just a little tiniest bit that you need to be able to catapult forward. But man, I'm sick of complainers. Gosh, dang. Is it just me or is everyone else's news feed full of people who cannot seem to get their lives to motivate in the right direction? I mean, am I the only one?
I saw something the other day, and I know everyone knows this, but I read that social media is an exchange of energy. You think you're relaxing, but it's really an exchange of energy. And I've noticed, going on social media, the energy is mostly negative, right? That's what you're talking about. Like you see so much negativity out there.
Man, and then I jump in the fray on some of these, man. Some of them I can't help myself. And then I'll jump in there and I'm like, I
what are you doing? Yeah.
I don't understand. And some of these people I know, which is the most frustrating thing. And I just want to go and I want to grab them by their head and shake them around and go, what the hell is your problem?
Oh my gosh. I have an example. Okay, this morning I took a picture of it because it was in my news feed and it upset me. For some reason, I looked at Instagram this morning. I don't usually do that, but this girl got on there. She's like one of those Instagram influencers, and she took a picture on her front porch to be funny with one of those back to school chalkboard things. And it said she was a mother, it said her age. She's like, it's the first day of my kids back to school, back to my life. And then she had listed like what she likes to do. And it was basically, drinking grown-up juice and coffee and watching TV and so happy that her kids weren't there so that she could do these things in peace, go shopping and watch TV and drink her wine. And she even said
kids that she chose to have.
Yeah, that's
magically
sad.
Now are in her way and she cannot enjoy life now because the children that she opted to bring into the world
are ruining it. Yeah. And it said on the bottom of the sign, motherhood happens between coffee and wine, which I know is meant to be funny. I can take a joke. Okay. But man, that's a sad existence. It just reminds me of, waiting for the weekend. Yay, it's Friday. We hate Mondays.
Yeah, man, I just don't get any of that stuff. I really don't. Look, I get it. Life happens. Your girlfriend didn't work out. I get it. Right? Your job sucks. I get it. You're fat. You're out of shape. I get it. You don't have all the money you want. You didn't get to buy the Bentley this year. I get it. I get it. So what the hell are you going to do about it? Because one thing I for sure can guarantee everybody on here, if you open your mouth and you complain about something like that, the one thing I can guarantee you is nothing is going to change for you. Not one thing is going to change. Next year, you're going to be bitching about the exact same thing. Promise. Yep. Promise. Because you will have completely lost interest in whatever it is that you're complaining about in 2 or 3 days, because there will be some new thing that has really taken the place of the old thing that was really the worst thing in your life.
what a sad way to live. I
Good
mean,
Lord. And some of these people are my friends. And I actually hope some of them are listening to the podcast because I cannot reach through Facebook and shake them. And
that'd be fun if you could.
you know, for whatever reason, when you comment on something, when you write it down, people take offense. But I guarantee if they're listening right now, something will shake them and go, oh, yeah. Oh, I guess I could change that. Okay. Yeah. My girlfriend dumped me. Okay. So find another girlfriend. There's freaking women all over the place. I mean, look around.
And why did she dump you? Is there, something you could change about yourself? Maybe. I don't know.
Guaranteed.
Possibly. There's
Could
something.
be that you're a I don't know. Could be that you're a complainer.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, maybe because of your Facebook posts, I would think that. I don't know.
It just sucks to like waste your life complaining about things every day because your future happiness is lived. I mean, you're living it today. Your life is happening today. And what you're complaining about is just making it worse. You're not, well, we've talked about this before, like living for some awesome future. Everyone thinks like, success is, I got to just plow through, these years and get to where I'm actually happy, wherever that is, like retirement or, once you've achieved some goal of some kind. But it's happening right now. You got to find a way to enjoy it and be happy and, start taking those steps towards whatever it is that's you're complaining about to fix it right now. Because watching Netflix every day and eating, ice cream in front of it isn't going to get you there.
It's certainly not going to get you in shape.
Okay, if that's your thing.
I can tell you, yeah. So when you complain, or even those of you out there who joke about how you're fat, when the joke really says, I wish I were skinny, but I just am too damn lazy to go exercise and eat right, then again, same thing, right?
Yeah, you've accepted it.
All over Facebook, I have so many friends who are like, yeah, haha, well, I'm I know you're just joking about it because inside you're thinking, wow, I'd really like to change this aspect of my life that I'm really not happy about. Or those of you out there who don't have the money that you want, rather than focus on what you don't have, or rather than focus on the thing that is causing you the grief, how about if we get outside of ourselves just a second, take a look, and let's figure out how we can change the reality. Because you're the only one who can change it. No fairy is going to come along and just, sprinkle a whole bunch of dust on you and then poof, you're a millionaire. Doesn't happen. It also is not going to happen next week, most likely. Okay? It's probably not.
And that fairy can be, many different things. Maybe you're waiting to win the lottery or be offered your dream job or come up with this crazy business idea that's just going to blow everyone away and change your life. Whatever fairy dust you're waiting on.
You're going to go from low-level manager, all of a sudden next week, you're going to be the CEO earning millions of dollars.
Some huge promotion.
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
Right.
Oh, man.
So whatever your fairy dust is.
So how do we fix this then? We can give you just really simple stuff to implement. The first thing is to stop freaking complaining. Just cut it out.
Yes.
And in all of its forms. So if you really don't like the fact that you're broke, then stop posting all of the memes about how broke you are in a funny way when everybody knows you're just complaining about the fact that you're broke. Same thing with if you're out of shape. Same thing if you, whatever, right? All of the stuff that you complain about. In every form in which you do it, stop it. Because all you're doing is you're robbing yourself of the future you could have by focusing on all of the crap that you don't like. Did I tell the story in the last one about the kid that I was trying to teach how to mountain bike? And he kept looking at where he was supposed to not go. And I
know you've told me that story, but I can't remember if it was on a podcast. Maybe just summarize it. Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Because here we are going down a mountain. Now you can imagine that we are going down a mountain, right? It has banked corners in it, and you're supposed to be going fast. And this kid is going like 0 miles an hour because he's scared to death. And on a bank, you can't go 0 miles an hour because the thing is banked for a reason, right? But he was watching the edge of the trail.
He's looking at where he doesn't want to go.
He didn't want to go there. And I kept telling him, dude, you got to look where you're going. Look where you want to go. And that's the thing, right? Is that with you can go way faster. You can augment all of your progress if you just stop looking where you don't want to go. Start looking where you do want to go. Start focusing and being positive about all the things that you do want and where you do want to go. Leave all the rest of the stuff behind.
Yep.
And then the next thing you got to do is you got to stick with it. You have to actually make a full commitment and a decision that this is not going to happen anymore. I'm going to do this over here. Like, I'm going to stop doing this over here and I'm going to start doing this over here. And I don't care what happens. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to do this over here.
Yes,
So,
an actual decision backed up with commitment, not just a decision for, until it gets too hard to keep doing, right?
okay, so this is not complicated. Number one, stop complaining. Number two,
Decide
with a commitment. We're not going back over there when tomorrow, whatever happens to me, and so now I feel like eating a gallon of ice cream, watching Netflix. Is that your example, Angela?
Yeah, that was my example.
All right, so we don't do that anymore.
Good.
I'm not going to do it anymore. It doesn't matter. Instead, we're going to do X, right? I'm going to do whatever it is. Okay. Yeah. Decide now. You're not going to do it anymore. And that's just how it's going to be. Yeah. I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm going to decide to do something different. Bam. And I'm not going back.
Yep. And this is a long-term commitment. Part of that, I think, is eliminating. So you make a decision and then you need to eliminate the other paths from your brain. So, I mean, if it's eating junk food, if you're one of those people that can't have junk food around, you should probably throw it out. I like having junk food around. I think it's comforting, but that's weird. Let's not get into my issues. I don't know. I get
pause.
I know. I'm sorry.
Is this where we phone a friend and the friend has to be some kind of a psychiatrist?
No, I don't think we should get into that. For some reason, I panic when there's no junk food around and then want to go eat it. Don't ask. I don't know. But hopefully you're a normal person and it works for you to just eliminate the junk food from your house so you're not tempted, right?
Okay, so if you try that and you eat more, try buying it and put it all over the house, and maybe you're like Angela, and then
I have to put candy dishes everywhere and have yummy stuff, and then I'm okay. I feel comforted, and I don't eat it. So
okay, now I will have to admit, Angela and I have been complaining about you complainers, so we're going to not complain about you complainers anymore.
Yeah, we are done with that.
We have decided now that we're going to move past you all.
And we're going to focus on the next step.
The next step is focus.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The next step is focus. It was an awesome segue. It really was beautifully done. The next step is focus. And this is the one where everybody gets lost. I think a lot of people out there who have been complaining and they finally get to the point where they're just like, man, screw this. I'm done being whatever. And I'm going to do this now. And they decide to do it. And then nothing happens between now and the next 7 days. They get really frustrated that they haven't made it, right? The 1 million didn't show up. The 100 pounds didn't fall off magically. They are not CEO.
Yeah.
Weird. They're not CEO next week. And then they eat a gallon of ice cream and they sit down and watch Netflix.
Because those old habits are easy to fall into. Yeah, this focus thing is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Your decision has to be rock solid and focus on it. Because this is easy to do, not just in, habits like eating healthy or working out, but, deciding to start a business. If you decide to start a business and then, have a million other great ideas and you're like, well, I started this new business, but it hasn't made money in the first month. So maybe I'm in the wrong one and I should go do this other thing.
Guys, it
can't do that.
That way.
It's not work that way.
No one. I mean, look, everybody out there has somebody they look up to. Okay, so I think it's really cool. I love the Olympics. I think it's super cool that these people dedicate years and years and years of nearly solid commitment and focus to one specific thing. Michael Phelps is one of them, right? So I watched this guy swim, and I've actually never been a fan of swimming. Don't really care. But that dude made it exciting.
He did, yeah.
People focus on the Olympics and watch him in the Olympics, and they go, man, you are so good. He got the medals, and he's now he's got all the money and everything else. But nobody actually thinks about the years and years and years that he spent every single day, hours in the pool, perfecting, gaining strength. I mean, working on
completely dedicated. He didn't start swimming and then decide maybe he wanted to be a runner,
And that's a problem. That's a big problem today, is that people think that people who have success somehow it just works for them and it doesn't work for other people. And that's so wrong-headed.
Thank you.
Yes. Michael Phelps, genetically, if you look at that dude and then you look at me and you go, who's going to win? You don't even have to know who he is. Who's going to win the lap down the pool? Guarantees going to be him. The dude's arms are like, humongous long things. He's got these big long legs. I mean, he's made to swim.
But Ron, what about all the other guys out there that are his height and have the huge long arms and the huge long legs?
Next.
Yeah.
Yes, I may not be genetically predispositioned to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not. Okay, I don't have the same.
I'm glad you can finally admit it.
Most people, I've been trying for years, people. It's not ever going to happen. Maybe Franco Columbo, which, rest in peace, Franco. But look, the reality of the situation is, if I don't spend the same amount of time in the gym and I don't eat like those guys eat, I'm never going to get there no matter what my frame looks like. It doesn't make any difference. And everybody who throws rich people, for instance, under the bus and says that they just, somehow they magically did
this. They lucked into it.
Do it. That's because they have no focus in their own life. They've never decided to actually go out and take a risk, and they don't understand what it takes to get there. So what does it take? Number one, stop complaining. Number two, make a decision that you are going to do X, whatever that is, and do that with a commitment, and then focus on it. And you got to focus
long-term,
long time. I mean, if you want to lose 100 pounds, it's going to take you a year. Minimum.
If you're extremely committed.
Minimum. Right? If you hit it like an animal, it's going to take you a year, maybe longer, right? If you want to become a millionaire and right now you make $15,000 a year, it's going to take you a minute.
You got to climb ahead of you.
You cannot think that next week you ought to magically be a millionaire. You can't think, for all of you millennials, and what's the other one? What's the next generation? Z?
I always forget. Z, something.
For all of you youth out there, if anyone is actually listening, you can't expect to have what your parents have when they're 40s and 50s and 60s when you are 20.
Nope.
Now, God bless you if you can do it between 20 and 25 because you have been more dedicated and more focused than your parents, right? But when you start out, if you think that you need to have the same everything that they have, you're going to end up broke. Instead, try to have a work ethic and a focus and a determination to get somewhere and make it happen instead of complaining like everyone else that your age does.
Oh, man. Now we got you going. All right. You got a point, though.
I've done this topic.
No, this is awesome. Okay. The next one we've talked about a ton. So Ron said, stop complaining, make a decision, focus. Number 4 would be create a plan, right?
Wow. That's a novel concept.
I know. We have beaten create a plan to death, but
to death.
We need one.
Business plan, life plan, pretty much every plan you can think of. I mean, we talked about goals, which is basically a plan. I held out my goal sheet. Remember that podcast?
Yeah. That was way back.
Come on. So we've talked about this in detail. I'm not sure.
You don't have a plan already. It may be, and you've been listening to our podcast. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
See, we're so fired up. We're talking over each other.
I know.
It almost sounds like we're on some kind of news show, MSNBC or something.
Was that bad?
I think it is. I stopped watching 3 years ago, unless it's gotten better.
Was it because they were talking over each other?
Well, it's just because they suck on all ends.
Okay.
Everybody's fault.
Okay.
They're a bunch of complainers. That's why.
They are, yeah. All right. We're not going to get deep into the plan thing because we've done that. Feel free to go back and check those out. But there's a reason the first action we take, in our other business, our actual business, not our other, this podcast is not a business. In our business, first step we take is building a wealth plan, what we call a wealth plan, to show people, how to reach their financial goals using investment real estate.
Yeah,
because they've decided to focus on that, that vehicle to build their wealth. The same thing in your whatever area you're working on. A plan is pretty freaking important. Don't skip it. All right, I'm done. Last one, which goes along with focus and dedication, commitment, is to follow through on your plan.
Angela just did. She said she was done, and then she really wasn't done.
No. I was done with creating a plan.
Which was also a great segue into follow through, because even when you feel like you're done, you're not done.
You're not done.
No, follow through.
Yeah. And remember that, success is not a straight line. You're not just going to decide tomorrow and suddenly it's easy to stop eating ice cream in front. Okay, that example is getting old, but you know what I'm saying? Success is paved with failures. The road is paved with failures.
I think the best meme I've ever actually seen about entrepreneurialism is that it has a line and it shows what people think it is, and it's like a line, and then it goes straight. It goes up at an angle, right? And actuality is this big scribble. Like the line goes all over the place. It looks like something that your grandma, when she had the knitting ball.
The naughty knitting ball? I've never heard of that.
They would hand it to you and go, "Could you just untangle this?" And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" No, my Colby is I'm a quick start. I'm not going to
handle that.
I can't do the ball thing. No. Anyway, follow through. This is really important for people like Angela and I, because we are the people who will start a business and then a month later start another business, and then
get bored.
And sometimes it's like a week in between.
Yeah.
Right. Because we have so many brilliant ideas. But this does not work. You must follow through with whatever it is that you start, and you have to go all the way. Right. And when you encounter whatever it is you're going to encounter, because something will get in your way. You have planned for that at the beginning. Something is going to get in my way. So what happens if I'm planning? One of the things that I love that Grant Cardone says is that you have to plan for that to happen. And then you have to have already been out working it. Right. So you set your goals. I think we said this on the goal one, right? But you set your goals way high, and then you work toward that goal. And the idea is to hit that goal. But if I come up just a little bit short of that goal because life got in the way, I'm leagues ahead of where I would have been if I'd have set this stupid, reasonable, realistic goal, right?
Right.
Because if you set the realistic, reasonable goal and then life happens, then you're below average, which is unacceptable in my world. So in order to be above average, you have to set your goals way above average, because life always gets in the way, always. So your plan has to account for that from the beginning. Yeah. It has to account for that. So you can't plan. It's like a rental. It's like a rental property. If you plan on the pro forma happening exactly how the pro forma is, and you've not counted anything in there for maintenance and vacancies, then I guarantee you it's not going to happen. Because two things are for sure: you're going to have a vacancy and you're going to have maintenance, right? It's the same thing when you got your weight loss plan or your I'm going to be a millionaire plan. Something is going to happen. I guarantee it. That's going to get in your way. And so the only way for you to be able to focus and follow through and get through all of that stuff is to have planned for that stuff to happen in the beginning. Something's going to get in my way. What am I going to do when it happens?
Yep. One little thing on that was great. I just want to say, I heard someone say, and I'm sorry, I don't know who said this, but it's a daily and hourly battle against the worst parts of yourself. So sometimes life gets in the way, sometimes a bad tenant, if it's real estate. But with most goals, the biggest thing you're dealing with and trying to overcome is yourself. Your own
always.
Almost always. Your own limiting beliefs, your fears, your bad habits, your self-destructive tendencies, whatever it is. it's an hourly battle against the worst parts of yourself, especially when you're first getting started. You've made the decision, you're focusing, you're starting down this path. Those bad habits that you have and your own personal demons are going to hit you hardcore when you're first starting out on this path.
They're going to hit you. Your old friend set's going to hit you. Everything's going to hit you. The finances are going to hit you. Everything is going to hit you. So what do you do? What do you do? Are you the person who's going to, curl up behind the toilet and sit there and sob? Or are you going to actually go out there and hit this head on and make something freaking happen? And before you've even made your decision, this stuff can happen to you where you feel like I would go do this, but I'm probably not enough. I'm not this, or I'm
making my dreams would come true would be easy if what excuses are you fighting against, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got one or 20.
Yeah, or way more than any of us need. And the reality is none of them are true. Why is it that the person down the street who's no smarter than you can do
no more talented,
can do exactly what it is you want to do, and you can't? Tell me why. Yeah, you can't. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could come up with some really good excuses.
Yeah.
But they're not. None of them are true. Because if someone is no more talented than you, and they don't have any other leg up, right? Matter of fact, some of them are worse off than you, and they still can make it happen. Well, then why can't you do it? I remember sitting in the first real estate seminar I went to. I remember looking at the guy up the front of the room. The only difference I could tell between me and that guy is he had money and I didn't have any. He wasn't any smarter than me. He certainly didn't have more time than me because I had just been laid off. I had all the time in the world, right? He wasn't any smarter than me. So what did he have that I didn't have? Money. Well, he just taught me how I could do this stuff without money. So what really is it that would hold me back from doing what he taught me? What is it?
Fear.
Me. Yeah, it's me.
You.
It's all me. It's like when I was in high school. I remember the guys go down the hall and they'd be like, they'd suck the air out from underneath somebody and they go, yeah, now it's stopping you. The air's gone. They'd challenge you to a fight. Did that not happen? You didn't go to school.
I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
Most of you went to school and there was fights back in the day, right? You challenge somebody to a fight and they take all the excuses away. They take all the air away from in front of them. Like now it's holding you back. Nothing's holding you back. Well, nothing's holding you back. I just took all the air.
Great example for anyone that knows what you're talking about. Yeah, that's good. I'm just kidding.
Angela lived a deprived life. Everybody,
I know. It's really so sad.
She didn't have to meet anybody at East Road after high school. I mean, it's really too bad.
I bet if I'd gone to high school, I would have been in tons of fights. But as it were, I was, homeschooled. So
she would have won.
I missed out.
That's what she meant. She would have won tons of fights.
I would have won tons of fights.
On East Road. For all of you, for any of my high school friends who are listening, everybody knows what East Road was. Okay.
All right. So I think that's it. You got to reach down deep and, find your discipline to overcome all your excuses. And that's how you find freedom and reach your goals.
And we will try really hard to stop allowing Facebook to direct everything that we do. But
no, we need to get off Facebook.
This one had to be said just in case there's any lingering folks on that are listening to our show who had not quite gotten the hint the first many times we talked about this. Now there shouldn't be any doubt, right? No doubt. It's easy. Stop complaining, make a decision, make it focused. You got to completely commit to it. And then all you really have to do after that is create a plan and follow through on the plan. That's it. It's very
simple.
Very simple.
Okay. Thanks, Ron. Thanks everybody for listening. If you got any comments on it, want to tell us another topic we should talk about, please visit us at getrealestatesuccess.com or on Facebook at Get Real Podcasts. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
This has been the Get Real Podcast. To subscribe and for more information, including a list of all episodes, go to getrealestatesuccess.com.